Some of those, you better be glad this is seriously free-minded. Which one I'm talking about?
I'm pretty sure the Kurt is the one you're talking about.
Yeah.
That was a good one too.
Yeah, that's pretty good. He pulled up a little, not tighter, but up here so we don't keep talking about it.
I'll tell you what.
Short.
Yeah.
Oh, it'll be
Close enough with you, Bob.
Boy, I didn't think he'd ever do it.
You got another angle of it?
Boy, he's getting serious now.
Yeah, I've read yours. You definitely need a speech. Are you really going to read it?
You bet.
You have no shame, do you?
Did you go ahead?
Put this down. One of the caps over there.
Where?
One of the caps. Put that out there. You need to look over this stuff. Yeah, I know.
My own.
Hey, all right.
I bought them just for the occasion. Thank you.
Hanging fence, that happens to a lot of people. But we'll just get this up where no one will know it. See, now it looks like it's button. It's not. In that box over there, there's one of these caps for everybody. One at a time.
Hey.
You've got everything you want.
special moments in our lives as graduates. I know that each one of you have made great efforts and some have traveled long distances to be with us here tonight. And I know I speak for my classmates as well as myself when I extend our appreciation and gratitude for all your efforts and sacrifices in being with us here. To some, it is still just words, but to us, as well as our parents, it is a feeling of accomplishment and achievement, a feeling of relief as well as sadness. As Lindley Baxter once said, what is done in our classrooms today will be reflected in the successes or failures of civilization tomorrow. In closing, I give to all of you, and especially the underclassmen, these words of encouragement. Only as high as I reach can I grow. Only as far as I see can I go. Only as deep as I look can I see. Only as much as I dream can I be. Once again, I want to thank you very much for coming and showing your love and support by being with us here tonight. Thank you, and may God bless you.
The name of the post is Pearson Kronberger Post. These two names recognize the two men in the armed forces that gave their life for our country and those that are ones that do. American Legion is an organization of veterans of military service that is organized to promote the ideas of Americanism. And in promoting these ideas, we have chosen each graduating class to recognize a young man and a young woman who we feel have exemplified the ideas of Americanism that we support. So we get an American Legion Award, and this award states that we recognize that these people have the high qualities of courage, honor, leadership, patriotism, scholarship, and service. It's not to say that these are the only ones that possess these things. There are a number of them in the class that possess these qualities, but as in life, many times there will be only one who will be able to receive an award. We want to recognize these that were chosen tonight. The young lady will come forward, or she'll come forward, Chantel Snyder and Kevin McDaniel.
Into the puddle, I saw a reflection I thought I would never see. A gown, cap, and tassel lay in my eyes. I'm finally graduating. As I think back to the new people who have helped me reach this goal, makes me both happy and sad. Happy for the opportunity to have learned from you, and sad because we will be going our separate ways. Thank you seems like such small words to say to the teachers who have taught us, to the friends who have made me laugh and wipe my tears when I cry, and to my family who has taught me to strive to reach the best that I can accomplish no matter what the circumstances. And most of all, to God who allowed me to live in a free country where I can be what He wants me to be. To my classmates, I would like to leave these final words. If we fill our hours with regret over the failures of yesterday and worries over the problems of tomorrow, we have no today in which to defeat.
Looking back on our past, we recall the memories of yesterday, the recollections of an age gone by, memories that can be painful or joyous, for it's all in how we look at them. We'll learn from our mistakes. And with these memories, we can bring about a change for the better in our lives, a change which is needed for progress, the building block of success. We can look back and see the progress we've made these past 13 years of our lives, and we have many fond memories of this progress, memories that have helped us and will help us to gain more knowledge throughout the rest of our lives, through the good times and the bad. Although it may seem We have been through a lot of bad times. They have actually just begun. And it may seem like it took a lot to get here, but actually it's not much to it. Sometimes we may have faced a problem that looked ominous, but with our knowledge we have gained over these years, that problem was easily overcome. For with this knowledge, we have learned to strive for the impossible and gain only what is deserving. And now in closing, I would like to share with you a phrase from a great philosopher of our time who has made a phrase that can only sum up the way many people feel about life. I would like to share that phrase with you in closing today. The phrase is, life is hard, and then you die. Thank you.
This crowd tonight, I see an overwhelming amount of familiar faces. Faces that have helped the senior class in 1985. Let's forget about the heartaches, the happiness, in the past few years, and look forward to the future years of everyone who is represented. Standing here before you makes the future an eternal reality instead of just a childhood fantasy. Let us begin our journey into the future with something that is happening now. Well, you see, commencement means beginning. It seems sort of odd to some to call this day commencement, but just as the end of one day marks the beginning of another, so the end of our high school days marks the commencement of a new chapter in our lives. We as seniors are looking toward our future with great anxiety. We realize our future will not always reveal great triumph and exaltation, but we also know that each step we take will in its own way teach us a lesson that our parents could not have prepared us for. We have always been told, and are now realizing, that experience has been and will be our best teacher. By standing here in front of you today, we hope that we can represent the future of the toil and the dignity of each of you here tonight that have brought us this far. In closing, we as seniors realize much has been done for us, much can be expected of us. May ours be the joys of accomplishment, and may we share those joys with you. Thank you.
Friends, parents, and administrators, I'm here to say goodbye to teachers who for 12 years have taught us not just about what you find in the pages of the book, but also about life in general. We've always joked and said we can't wait to get out of school and away from our teachers, and they can't wait for us to leave. Well, our time is finally coming indeed, but we're still always fighting hard. In another way, we're saying goodbye to our parents and our dependents on them. Not like we'll never see them again, but we come to a point we have to start leading our own lives, whether it's going to college, or getting a job and moving out, or getting married and starting a family.
Education and help with this proper recognition and your beginning of a new education. We have with us Supreme Court Justice Yvonne Carter. Yvonne Carter was born and raised in Colony, Oklahoma, graduated from high school as valedictorian. She received her Bachelor of Science degree from Southwestern State University and stood first in her class. She also received the Certified Medical Technologist from St. Anthony's Hospital. Ms. Carter received her Juris Doctorate degree from Oklahoma City University and again stood first in her class. Justice Carter was appointed to the Supreme Court of Oklahoma in March of 1984. She is the founder of the Art Gallery of the Plains Indians. At one time or another, she has been selected by almost every group as Woman of the Year, or to whose has been adopted by the Cheyenne Arapaho Indian tribe. Justice Carter is a perfect example of a person from a small community, a small school, that has made it all the way up the state power structure to the top. Graduating seniors of 1985 and your guest, it is my pleasure to present to you the Oklahoma Supreme Court Justice Yvonne Carter.
I got the job I have now, and we were seeing some members of the nominating commission. After a great Italian dinner, we went back to the motel, and there was a movie on HBO. It was about a grade D movie called The Beastmaster. Now, it wasn't a dirty movie. It was just kind of a bad movie. There was nothing else to do, and we watched it, and it had one great line in it. And I turned to Ned and I said, Ned, I'm going to remember that line, and this is it. One character had turned to the other and said, life is a circle. We shall meet again. Well, it's especially meaningful for me tonight to have so many members of my family circle here. The graduate, David Treadaway, his grandparents, Norman and Charlie Treadaway, my cousin Bruce, who asked me to come and speak and said, you know, Yvonne, last year we had Mike Turpin, and he was short, sweet, and funny. Do the same. My cousin Joyce Cook is here. She taught me not to drive fast in the sand, and I've remembered it forever. My parents are here who have supported me throughout my life, John and Alice Carter. My husband Ned, my enabler. Justice Alma Wilson, the first woman on the Oklahoma Supreme Court, talks about my husband Ned and her husband Bill as men of courage. And believe you me, they have to be men of courage to put up with us. I mean, it's not much fun to go to a banquet and have your place card say, when your name is Ned Bastow, Mr. Ned Carter. My beloved Aunt Jessie's here. I've talked a lot about my Aunt Lucille. My Aunt Lucille was my professional role model. She learned to speak Swahili and ride a bicycle after she was 60 years old and served 2 terms in the Peace Corps. My Aunt Jessie said she's reflected on this and she's tried to think of anything she might have taught me. She said the only thing she could come up with was that she taught me how to blow my nose. I can't think of a more valuable skill. Thank you, Aunt Jessie. Speaking of circles, the American Indian Museum in New York City featured an exhibition of circle art of the Plains Indian last year as it related to self, tribe, humanity, and God. Now this was especially meaningful to me because I was adopted by the Cheyenne Arapaho. But I'm also another member of another tribe, the Black Rose of the state of Oklahoma, the judiciary of this state. You too are a member of another tribe tonight, the Blue and White Robes, the graduating class of Minco High School. And I'm a member of another tribe, the tribe of my hometown, Colony, Oklahoma. It's a small town. There were 7 in my class. The whole high school had to suit up to field a softball team. And people asked me, where is Colony? As did Calvin tonight. And I told him he had to wait because I wanted to use my mother's joke on him. Colony is between the 2 feed towns, corn and alfalfa. And you'd be surprised, almost everyone knows where corn is. But the circle which keeps revolving and reverberating in my mind tonight is that of those dear hearts and gentle people, the tribe of Colony, Oklahoma, my hometown, and of the tribe of Minco, your hometown, and the small towns of Oklahoma. I don't want you to think for a minute that because you're from a small school or a small town, that you're precluded from doing anything you want to do. It's just not so. In fact, a pretty good case can be made for the fact that you need to be from a small town to make it in Oklahoma. Let me give you some examples. Carl Albert from Bugtuffle. Angie DeBow from Marshall, population 372. Ms. DeBow, the First Lady of Oklahoma history, is nationally and internationally recognized. And in April, she became the first woman to have her portrait hung in the state capitol. Inez Silberg was from Poto, but her students from Oklahoma City University grace the opera houses of the world. David Boren's from Seminole, and that's not exactly Oak City. And Henry Billman is from Billings. Will Rogers was from Oologah, and Mickey Mantle's from Commerce. Johnny Bench was from Binger. Dale Mitchell claims Colony, and Corn could easily claim John Denver because his grandmother lived there. You're Mr. Mackey, the hometown boy. And the list goes on. Have a little competition over there. I'm the second woman on the Oklahoma Supreme Court. Oklahoma is one of only 2 states in the Union to have 2 women on their highest court. Minnesota's the other one. And when I applied for the vacancy on the court, the smart money said, there's no way the governor's going to name 2 women in a row. He's appointed his woman. Well, I asked Representative Guy Davis for his help, and for his opinion. And he said, well, he didn't think 2 women were too many, that demographically we're entitled to 5.2. And I felt a little better about that, but the rumor persisted. Incidentally, Guy told me that his wife was considering running for the school board in Calera because she'd looked it over and about half the classes were women. I almost got thrown out of Mr. Mackey's office when I asked where was the woman board member from Minco High School. Anyway, the rumors persisted, and Ned and I went out to dinner, and I ran into a district judge from Oklahoma County, and he called me over there, and he said, hey, kid, come over here. And so I did. And he said, look, there's no way you're going to get this. The governor just won't appoint 2 women in a row. I looked at Judge Nacy, and I patted him on the shoulder, and I said, listen, Judge, don't you worry about it, because I'm the best man for this job. And he said, what? And I said, I'm the best man for this job because, you see, sometimes, truly, the best man for the job is a woe man. He looked at me and he said, well, kid, I just mean you've got to work harder. And I said, I intend to. Well, at least I maintained a bold front. On March the 13th, I saw Guy Davis again, and he waved at me and he said, hey, Yvonne, read Luke 18:27. It says, things which are impossible with men and women are possible with God. The governor called the next day. The fear of gender discrimination is not confined just to women. Our new justice on the Supreme Court, Hardy Summers, had heard the story about we aren't going to have 2 women, and then we did. Hardy Summers said that he lived in mortal fear until the application period closed, because he had now heard that the governor said he liked those women and he was just going to keep on appointing them until he got parity. We have a great Supreme Court. It's one that you can be proud of, and I always like to give them a little promo when I talk to people. But the thing I want to say to you is that it's a new day for all of us, that all things are possible, that I have dreamed the impossible dream that you talk about, and it came true. But you'd be surprised at how many people really don't know that. The day I was appointed, Ned and I went out to dinner, and we were toasting with Perrier water. Ned had discovered he was hypoglycemic, and so we were drinking water, and he spilled his on the table, and he said, would you look at that? I used to have a real drink, and I could keep it on the table, and now I drink water, and I can't seem to keep things in order. There was a lawyer sitting next to us. I didn't know he was a lawyer at the time. But he talked to us. We chatted. Ned excused himself to go to the men's room. And I finally asked the inevitable question, what do you do? And he said to me, well, honey, I am a lawyer from Tulsa. And I said, and I'm your new justice? It was delicious. Just delicious. The day I was sworn in, I went to the faculty house. Our family was meeting for breakfast, and I had on my black suit, new blouse. Ned and Jonna were with me. Hazel came in. She'd been serving me lunch for 10 years. She looked at me. She said, Yvonne, you look good this morning. I said, thank you, Hazel. What are you so dressed up for? She said. And I said, Hazel, I'm the one. I'm that second woman. I'm going to be sworn in at 11. She said, you're the one? And I said, yeah, Hazel, I'm the one. And she said, well, you clean up real good. Last week I got a letter from the Cushmatawha County Bar. They said they were having a surprise party for a lawyer who had served 50 years. They wanted me to come. They wanted me to keep it a secret. They gave me the menu. And they wanted me to tell them as soon as possible if my wife would be able to attend. When you come to the court, and I hope you will, every justice who served on the court since statehood has their picture on the wall. I have one little girl. She's not little anymore. She's a law student, but I am partial to little girls. And there were 2 little girls standing looking at the pictures with their parents. And I stopped and I said, have you seen the courtroom? My daughter says it looks like wedding cake if you look at the ceiling. And they said, oh yeah, we're just looking at Justice Wilson's picture. You know she's a Supreme Court justice. And I said, oh yes, I know she is. And I said, my picture's going to be up there. And the mother of the little girls looked at me and said, yeah, honey, so's mine. I went to my first judicial conference, and I know most of the judges because I'd worked for the court for a long time. But there were some I didn't know, and so I walked over and I said to one, hi, I'm Yvonne Carter, and he said to me, where are you from, honey? And I said, Colony, Oklahoma. And he said, no, I mean what court? I said, the Supreme. And he said, ah! I love to sandbag him, I just love it. Last week, my intern was being hassled. She answered the phone, I could hear her. She said, this is Justice Carter's chambers, and she said it about 3 times, and I thought, what is the problem? So I picked up the phone in time to hear this man say, who? And she said, Justice Carter. And he said, I don't believe I'm familiar with the Justice Carter. Who's he? And I said, this is Yvonne Carter, and I'm a girl. Who are you? And he said, I wanted the Chief Justice. I said, you have the wrong number. But just wait. It's true. We're anonymous, and not very many people know who I am. But the people in my hometown know me, as they know you. They honored me by being at my adoption and at my swearing in. They have loved and supported me all my life. I was president of Lyric Theater, and I love musical comedy. And there's one song that haunts me. It's about a girl from a small town called Mira. And she sings about the first time she leaves that small town, and it takes her 2 buses and a train to get to the big city. And she says, I guess you've never heard of Mira. It's very small, but it's there. They have the very greenest trees and skies as bright as flame. But what I liked the best in Mira was everybody knew my name. Can you imagine that? Everybody knew my name. As we achieve our goals and as we accomplish our dreams, and as the circles of life, of self, tribe, humanity, and God continue to revolve in our lives, let us not forget our roots. Let us not forget our friends and families in our hometowns, like Colony and Minco, where everybody knows our name. And let us not forget that with their love and with God, all things are possible. Life is a circle. We shall meet again.
An honored guest, I have examined the records of these students and find that they have met the requirements for graduation set forth by the state of Oklahoma and the Minco Public School. Will the senior class of 1985 please rise and come forward? Sherry Anthony Jackson. Leah K. Eden. Leanne Lynn Hornbuckle. Tammy Ray Trulove. Dina Lynn Phelps. Chantel Michelle Snyder. Catherine Danelle Mitchell. Denise Osborne Lott. Deetra Jane Ortell. Shelley Renee Garrett. Christy Dawn Riker. Donna Michelle Brent. Crystal Renee Acox. Donald Dean Myers. Bobby Ray Hines. Robert Marshall Key. Gary Allen Clark. Michael Scott Cripps. Nikki Don Sproul. Corey Glenn Herndon. Kevin Don McDaniel. Dondi Dwayne Welch. Ty Hunter Smith. James Christopher Coggins. Donald Ray Kelly Jr. Charles Dwayne Ridge. David Bruce Treadaway Jr. Cosgrove. Christopher Nathan Bond. Mark Edward Norman. Harold Carl Lang Jr.
Hi, Marge.
Other side. Dumb. Come in the other side. Kelly.
He was always around.
What you doing, old man?
What you say, fat boy?
No, I'm just holding it up and looking through it for my health. Lucille. How you doing, Mom?